Yo, what's up, It's the one and only HipHopGamer, Hot 97, Logitech G, Def Jam Records, NBA 2K League. Welcome to We Got Game. Now, today's episode, you see the title. It's about to be serious right now. Spider-Man versus Halo. I'm gonna just say that again. Spider-Man versus Halo. Which character will generate more sales for PS5 versus Xbox Series X at launch? That's what we're gonna talk about, alright? So, I got some bullet points that I broke down, and we about to get through it right now. So check it out. The first thing is this. Sales. Let's get right into it. So, Spider-Man on PS4 did over 13 million, alright? Exclusive, remember, it's only on PlayStation, alright? Over 13 million. Okay, on Xbox with the Halo 5, the last one that came out previously, it did a little over 5 million. That's what's been reported, because Microsoft, they don't report numbers like they used to. But in terms of that figure, it was over 5 million. Now, let's discuss this for a second. Spider-Man on PS4, that's like that Insomniac Games did, that's their first ever Spider-Man. And out the gate, they did 13 mil. Whereas Halo, back in the day, like Halo will sell like 12, 13, 15 million copies. But it's been up and down, up and down. And right now, Halo, in terms of the impact, hasn't been what we've known it for, you know, in terms of back in the day with the 360 era and even the OG Xbox era. You understand what I'm saying? So just looking at that from a sales standpoint, Spider-Man definitely got the advantage here that will help PS5 outsell Xbox Series X when it comes to launch. So when it comes to sales, I gotta go with Spider-Man on this one, because even though Halo is Halo, Spider-Man right now is just in a bigger position, period. And based off their last outing, the proof is there. Facts. And then think about this. Halo is also on PC. So it's actually on more platforms than just one when it comes to the PlayStation side, because it's only on PlayStation. So if you could outsell a title where that title has more platforms to be on, and you still, outselling that title, it speaks volumes to the impact that one game made. So that's the sales bullet point. Now we about to move over to momentum. Now when you look at momentum, PS5, they over 105 million sold this generation. You know what I'm saying? I think they close to 120 right now. You know what I mean? That's crazy right now. Whereas Xbox, they're a little over 50 million. Now keep this in mind for a second. In 2013, both of these systems came out, and they came out a week apart. Xbox was $100 more, true, but over time, Sony blew them out the water. In terms of attach rate, game sales, everything. Now, one of the issues was messaging. Out the gate, Xbox had poor messaging. You know what I'm saying? Remember with the DRM, you could only play your games if you have an online connection. You couldn't sell your used games because of the disc, all these other things. Whereas Sony was like, nah, you can do all those things and more. Don't worry about it. We got you. And it was more of a fan-centric system. So culturally, they got the support and the love, and it showed, right? Now, if you move on to where we at now, exclusives has always been Sony's strength. And with Xbox, this particular generation, that's been their weakness for the most part, having exclusives that's constantly, being created and having an impact in the culture. We know about Halo, we know about Forza, we know about Gears of War. But after that, it kind of stops. You know what I'm saying? Are there other games? Of course. You know what I'm saying? Ori and Blind Forest is one of those other games. But at the end of the day, in terms of impact and stuff like that, and the way people gravitate to it, Sony, when they drop an exclusive, when you think about Horizon, when you think about God of War, when you think about Uncharted, Last of Us, and Ghost of Tsushima that's about to drop, and so many more, Sony has the edge in a major way when it comes to exclusives, and that plays a role into the momentum, especially going into the PS5 generation. Everybody want to play those games, no matter what you do, what it is, you don't even have to like PlayStation. But when you see Spider-Man and you see those games, hate it or love it, like 50 Cent said, like the game said, hate it or love it, the underdog's on top. Sony's not the underdog no more. They got the momentum, they on top, hate it or love it, they got it. Period. So, when it comes to momentum, PlayStation has that as well. Simply because they dominated the competition by more than a 2-to-1 margin in terms of just sales, impact, messaging, and brand awareness and brand strength. So momentum, so sales and momentum is in Sony's favor when it comes to the PlayStation brand and their games. Now let's move on to character impact. So Spider-Man and Halo, I mean, amazing characters with amazing impact. But let's talk about it. Overall, in the world of entertainment, Spider-Man means more to entertainment across the board than Master Chief does with Halo. Spider-Man been around longer. That's a given. You know what I'm saying? It's a superhero that everybody knows, that everybody tries to be. You go to a movie theater and watch it, it's Spider-Man. You understand what I'm saying? Period. Now, when you think about character impact, you have to also think about what's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? In terms of this year, these systems is coming out, and also with a major push with Black Lives Matter and with everything that's going on right now, rest in peace George Floyd, and all those that lost their lives to police brutality. Like, you have Miles Morales, you know what I'm saying? You have the Black Spider-Man launching with your system this year. So not to bring up all the political stuff, but all of these things actually play a role in somebody saying, yo, Black Spider-Man, I gotta get that. Just cause. Whether the game is hot or not, it's just the energy. You understand what I'm saying? So in terms of character impact, Spider-Man is a more known character that's been around longer in all forms of entertainment. 2, you coming off the success of Spider-Man into the Spideyverse. You know what I'm saying? 3, Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn, you know what I mean? Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? Miles Morales is there. And then 4, when you look at the game, like when you look at that Spidey trailer and how real it looked, that joint looked insane. So think about it, out the gate, normally you don't see this level of a jump in next generation game development. But Spidey looks insane. Miles Morales' character looks out of this world for a game that's a launch title with the PlayStation 5. You know what I'm saying? Now, Master Chief, on the other hand, this is Halo. It's like the way they talked about it is like Halo going back to what made us love Halo out the gate. And it's launching day and date with the Series X. You understand what I'm saying? Now, Halo, if they can achieve what we know their ability is in terms of the Halo name and the Master Chief brand, that character impact with the culture is gonna be huge, and there's gonna be a lot of money behind it. But when you look at character for character in terms of impact, Halo has the impact in the gaming world. Spider-Man has more of an impact across the board of all of entertainment, not just games. Now, I'm not saying Halo don't have impact outside of just games as well, but in the scenario of comparing the two, come on, man. Rest in peace, Stan Lee. You know what it is, man. Spider-Man, Spidey is, you just can't top that. You know what I'm saying? So that's when it comes to character impact. That also goes in Sony's favor. Now, so far, we've seen sales, we've seen momentum, and we've seen character impact, right? And it's all in favor of Sony. Now, let's take a look at something else that may not be in Sony's favor. So check this out. So if you look at multiplayer, right? Let's go to multiplayer. Halo is one of those games for the longest, like people that wasn't even on board with Halo, once they played Halo's multiplayer, you know, back in the day, made them a fan of Halo, the game. Like, that's how dope Halo's multiplayer was. You know what I'm saying? Remember, Red versus Blue, back in the day, like, that energy was crazy. So, in this day and age, in the technology that exists, you know, esports and all of that, Halo has the opportunity to capture the world by storm with their multiplayer offering. Now, think about this for a second. Call of Duty in 2007, when Modern Warfare hit, it shocked the whole world. It stopped everything to the point where Call of Duty became a sport in a league of its own, and every single year Call of Duty comes out is the #1 selling game. Like, that is crazy. We would have never thought that that would be that, but it is. And Halo, if there's any game that has the opportunity to bring that type of energy, it would be Halo, as long as it's developed right, the story is right, and they showcase the power that Xbox is marketing when it comes to the 12 teraflops, most powerful console, blah, blah, blah. They have to show that. So when it comes to multiplayer, potential esports, and the bringing people together when it comes to Halo and multiplayer, that right there, Spider-Man don't got it. And Halo has that all across the board, up and down. So based on the creativity that 343 Industries bring to this game and the launch and how they support it post-launch, could be a major deciding factor on the longevity of the impact that Halo will have, versus Spider-Man at launch and beyond, in terms of their multiplayer component. So that right there is in Microsoft's favor, the multiplayer component. Now, barrier of entry, right? Now, the reason why I have to put this in here, because even though we're talking about Spider-Man and Master Chief character, barrier of entry to get to those characters plays a major role in it. So, when you think about barrier of entry, imagine instead of just like spending, $400 or $500 out the gate, out your pocket to get a system, imagine you do have that cell phone style where you have a 2-year contract, and you only spending like, $30 or $40, a month to get your system, Xbox Game Pass, and all these things with it. And then over time, you eventually pay it all off. But the barrier of entry is easy, like, to get into. That right there could have a major impact on everybody being quick to get an Xbox, over a PlayStation. And because of the barrier of entry, and let's say you did just spend the $400 or the $500 out the gate, but you only, it comes with the Game Pass, and with Xbox Game Pass, you have Halo day and date. So you don't gotta buy Halo. All you need is the system, and the service is free. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas on PlayStation, you gotta buy the game and you gotta buy the system, so you're spending more. And especially in these times, value is that much more important. You understand what I'm saying? So the barrier of entry is also in Microsoft's favor, because in that point, it's not always about what's better in terms of the actual game or what character you care about. A lot of times it's, can I even afford it? And I just need something I want to play. And that right there is in the favor of Microsoft in terms of barrier of entry to those characters that you're going to get, that's going to generate sales for the systems, for the respective systems at launch. You understand what I'm saying? So that right there is very important to pay attention to. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the biggest game. And what I mean by that is Spider-Man Miles Morales is more of an expansion. It's a standalone game. Don't get me wrong, it's a standalone game, it's its own game. But it's rumored that it's a $40 title, and it's not like it's not a true sequel to the Spider-Man universe, but it's a major expansion, like how the Uncharted Lost Legacy game is, or Infamous First Light game is. But it's still a big game in its own right. Whereas Halo is Halo. It's supposed to be a big, huge game, potentially the first fully open world experience we'll get in the Halo universe. You understand what I'm saying? So, in terms of the biggest game, a person may be like, yo, I love Spider-Man, but I want a game that's gonna give me a lot of time, that I'm gonna have a lot of time with. That's a bigger game in story and in multiplayer. And that alone right there, based on how it's marketed, could be in the favor of Halo in terms of the bigger game, the more bang for your buck that you get. You know what I'm saying? The more replay value when you think of it from that standpoint. And from that standpoint, it's in favor of Master Chief. It's in favor of Halo, in favor of Xbox in terms of the bigger game based on what we're hearing so far right now. So that right there is crazy. So in terms of barrier entry in biggest game, the momentum is shifting. You know what I'm saying? In terms of multiplayer, barrier entry in biggest game, the momentum is shifting right now in terms of Halo. So there's a balance here. So now to wrap this up, let's talk about power versus development. The 12 teraflops that Xbox is bringing to the table for their system, or Insomniac Games and their development talent, what's going to be the deciding factor that's going to win you over? So will it be Spider-Man Miles Morales, or will it be Master Chief Halo? It's up to you to decide. As for me, I'm getting everything. You know how I get down, you know what I'm saying? I'm HipHopGamer, I get it all. But out the gate, what are your thoughts? Do you think Spider-Man in the PS5 will push their branding and their system and their launch numbers over Xbox? Or will Xbox and Master Chief, that character impact, push them over the hump over PS5 when you figure out them being potentially the biggest game, having the multiplayer and the barrier entry on their side? Me personally, momentum plays a major role in all of this. And the reason why I say that is because if you have over 100 people that got the PS4 and they love that already, they're just going to jump to the next best thing that they already know. And based off customer behavior, momentum is the most important thing, because at the end of the day, people love to stick with what they know if what they know didn't hurt. Period. And I feel like Sony, but Sony has that in their favor when it comes to momentum. And when you think about that momentum fused with a character like Spider-Man, I personally think that the PlayStation 5 will be the system that will sell more at launch. But it's not impossible for Master Chief to come in and do something unexpected where Microsoft potentially gets that head start and wins it over Spider-Man. So what are your thoughts? Leave your comments in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Me personally, I think PlayStation and Spider-Man will have the bigger impact and generate the most sales. If you agree, let me know. If you disagree, tell me why you disagree. On that note, one love and God bless. It's the one and only HipHopGamer. We got game and I got you on your Hot 97 every day. That's my word. Logitech G, baby. And we out of here. Peace.